Hello everybody, it's Anne from Stampin'Up. Welcome to another card making day here in Simcoe, Ontario. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here, and if you live in Canada and you don't have your own demonstrator, you can shop with me. You can reach me at stampsntea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsntea.stampinup.net. If you watch my videos and you like the videos, if you would be kind enough to leave a comment or a like on whichever platform you watch it, you know, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, if you would leave a comment, it helps my ratings. So today, we're into January, of course, and today the January to April catalogue has gone live, and the celebration catalogue has gone live, so that means anything that's in those catalogues you can now purchase. Today we're going to use the Terrific Toadstools bundle, stamps and a punch, and it's on page 53 in the January to April catalogue. It's $53 if you buy the bundle. Now, spending $53 is not enough to let you pick one of the free items from the celebration catalogue. This year you have to spend $75 to get a free item from the catalogue. So you know, you buy your bundle and you add some cardstock, or you add some paper, something like that, you know, and then you get to pick your free item. For my free item, one of my free items I picked from page 8 in the celebration catalogue, and I picked the Toadstool Gardens designer series paper, which matches perfectly with this stamp set. Let me turn the camera down, and I'll show you what we need to make this card today, and then we'll make the card together. So this is page 53, and this is the stamps and dies that make up the Terrific Toadstools bundle. Lovely little whimsical stamp and die set. This is the celebration catalogue, page 8, and this is the designer series paper, and that's a free item when you spend your $75, and they match perfectly, they really do. Let me just move my punches out of the way. So this is the Terrific what is it called? Toadstool Gardens DSP, or designer series paper. You get 48 sheets, 6 different designs, two-sided designs, so you really get 12. And you've got this one here with the green leaves on the back. We've used that before. You've got this one with the swishes, and it has the pink dots on the back. This one is graded from let me think, melon mambo down to granny apple green, and it's got a nice grey, sort of a wood green on the back. You've got lots of little dots there, and that's got stripes on the back. You've got this beautiful one here with, it's all pink, that would be great for a little girl, with purple stripes on the back. And you've got this one here, which again is very whimsical, toadstools with the pink on the back. This is the sheet we're going to use today. So we've got stamps and punch, I beg your pardon. This is the toadstool punch. This is the toadstool punch, and it cuts out the big toadstool, the smaller toadstool, and this stem. Now this stem here is beautiful. You just have to cut it out by hand. It's not a big deal. We're going to do that. Got some nice little sayings in there, nice little toadstools. We're also going to use an older punch called Happy Labels. I'm not quite sure how old it is. It's a couple of years old, but it puts a nice edge on your stamp, on your whatever you're cutting out. Let me just set them there. Oops, my board. We're also going to use a stamp set that is still current. It's in the annual catalogue. It's called So Sincere, and we're going to use this Happy Birthday stamp set out of this. Okay, so let me put that over there. We're going to use the Terrific Toadstools. This, as I say, is the sheet of paper we're going to use. This has the crosshatch pink on the back. We are not going to use the back, we're going to use the front. We've got a Melon Mambo card, 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. We've got a 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 for the insert for the inside, and we've got about a 1/4 sheet of cardstock to stamp some toadstools and a sentiment and things on. This piece here we're going to cut into 3 strips for the front of the card. Alright, so let me get my instructions and let me see what I'm going to do, what my order is. So first of all, I'm going to bring in my paper cutter here. I'm going to open up my card, and so this is the front of my card, right? There's my card, I've opened it up. Okay, I'm going to cut exactly 1 inch from the front right down to my already scored my fold. Lovely. And then I'm going to turn it this way and cut again. Now I'm pulling on this piece of card here where I've cut the shorter piece, the smaller piece, and what happens is when you get to where you think you're about, you've cut right to this cut, you can slide that out all by itself. You almost feel the blade click when you come down for the shorter cut. We're going to keep this piece because it's going to back the sentiment. Now, there we go. Now when I look at this, I've cut this side of the line, so when you close your card it's not even. Okay, you can still see that piece. I'm going to take my snips and just cut that little piece off. Cut to this side of the line. There. I just cut that tiny little piece off. Okay. Now we're going to take the DSP, this piece of DSP. I've already cut it down to 5 3/8. Yeah, 5 3/8. And I want to cut it into 3 strips. Now these strips are actually going to be 15/16 of an inch each, so I've got to be careful, and I want to cut from this side, and I've got to keep them in order because I'm going to put them back in the same order. So 15/16. You know that on these cutters from Stampin' Up, you actually have 16 markings in every inch. Right, so we're going to 1 less than the whole inch, which is going to give us 15/16. Make sure my card's tucked up against the top. Right there, and I'm going to slice that off. Now I'm just going to set that I'm going to set it down so that I can keep them in order. So then we're going 15/16 of an inch again. Make sure it's up to the top. Put that one there, and then 15/16 of an inch one last time. There we go. 15/16 of an inch. I'm going to have to let that go because I haven't got enough to close my guide and hold it in place. There we go. So we've got 3 pieces at 15/16 of an inch. We'll keep this piece, it would make a nice little border down the side of a card. Okay, let me put this out of the way for just a minute. What are we going to do now? We're going to take this card front, and it's going to be a top fold card, of course. We're going to take this card front and we're going to line these 3 pieces up and glue them to the front of the card. I'm going to use liquid adhesive for this, my Tombow Multi liquid adhesive, because that'll give me room to wiggle. It'll give me wiggle room to move these strips around if I need to. So I'm going to do the 2 outside strips first, here and here, and then I'll do the center strip. So let's get some glue going here. Oops, I'm off the camera. And I'm just going to line this up about 1/16 of an inch from the top and from the bottom and from the side edge there. Okay, now I'm going to do this strip next, which would be this one. Same again, about 1/16 of an inch from the edge and the top and the bottom. There, and then we'll do the center strip. And the reason you do the two outside strips is so that when you put the center strip in, you can line it up evenly. Now I could have moved those strips in just a little bit further, but it's done now, so we're just leaving it as it is there. So you see, now that I've glued them down, you see how my pattern runs across the page the way it's supposed to. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take the insert for the card, the piece that's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and I'm going to hold it in the card like that, line it up where I think it's going to go, and we're going to get some stamping done. Let me just put the lid on the adhesive for a second. Okay, we've got some ink pads here. We have Melon Mambo, Pebbled Path and Pumpkin Pie, and I think that's the only colours I'm using, and they're all in the DSP, so they'll all work nicely together. So let me take let's see, I need Melon Mambo first of all, and I need the stamp from the StampsNTea set, which says Happy Birthday. Now I've got my card turned on the side so that I need to straighten that up so that I can see where I'm going to stamp and make sure it's nicely lined up, you see. So I've got a stamp that says Happy Birthday, and it is in Melon Mambo. There's a little neck there. Let me just see. Hopefully this works. Looks like it's nicely inked up. And I'm just going to line it up about the center of this card. 2, 3, 4, just there, right there. You see, let me see. I could have had it a little further this way, but it's okay. We're gonna do some other stamping here. That looks kind of bare there, so we're gonna put a little something else on it. All right, so we have from the Terrific Toadstools set, we've got these 3 lovely little ones and a stem there. We're going to stamp these on the side. Just get rid of that. So we need some Melon Mambo and we need some Pebbled Path for the stems. Just put that up there out of the way. Let's see, it might sit there. So we've got the 3 little what do you call them, toadstools, 3 little toadstools, and they're going to go top and bottom, I think. And I need some Pebbled Path, and I need this stamp here, which is this one. Oops, you can't see this one. I want to put it top and bottom. I want them to come in from the side like this, sort of like that and like that, I think. Or no, I think I want this one to go up like that. I think I'll do them both the same. Yeah, so we've got some Pebbled Path, And we're going to have to take this out because I don't want the pebbled path to stamp on the pink. So what have I got? I need a piece of paper. There's a piece. Okay, just because I don't want to get the ink on my foam board. There. And there. So that's that one done. So now I've got 3 little toadstools here, and these I'm going to stamp in Melon Mambo. Now you can see through these stamps to see where you're lining them up. You see, if you look here, you can see the stems through the stamp. Just going to do that. There. Oh, they stamped nice. So that's those done. Now what else do I need to stamp? I want to try and do all my stamping at the same time. I need this piece of card, which is about an extra quarter sheet of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp some toadstools and try and get all my parts that I need to stamp on this sheet of paper. So we've got this big toadstool here, this one here. So that's that one. We've also got, what else have I got in pink? What do I have in pink? My sentiment is going to be in pink for the inside, and that says popping up to say hi. That's right here. Now I want to tape off the hi. I just want it to say popping up to see. I don't want to stamp the hi. So I've got, or I had, a tiny little piece of cardstock. Yes, there it is. Excuse my arm. So I have this tiny little piece of cardstock, and I'm going to cover the hi with it. I'm going to cover it over the hi like that, so that it's hiding the word hi. There. So now what we have is we have popping up to see, and then you see the happy birthday down the side. So that worked well. What else have I got to stamp in? Okay, I don't think I've got anything else in pink. In Melon Mambo, I need this toadstool here, which is this one, and we're going to stamp that in Pumpkin Pie. There. And we're stamping that in what colour is that? Pebbled Path. And I want to stamp it. Yep, I want to stamp it this way. So I'll just do that. I'm going to stamp 2, just in case. And then I've got another what is it called, stem, if you will. It's this one here, but it doesn't have a die to cut it out or anything, so we're just going to stamp that and we'll cut it out by hand. It's going to go there. I'm just stamping 2 just in case I need them. I think we've got everything stamped. Okay, close this up. So let's see about cutting some pieces out, or punching some pieces out. So this punch, we're going to punch this out first, this large toadstool. Now with this punch, you know how when you have dies you get a white border? with this punch you don't. It will cut the right size or smaller. So there is my one toadstool. Now I'm going to trim this off. There, to get rid of that. I need to cut this off first because I just don't have quite enough room. So I'm going to cut this sentiment off at the top, and I'm going to cut these stems off. Okay, so we've got that. We've got this. We might as well cut this to the right size. There, and I want it to be 1 inch. Okay, now we can cut this second toadstool out. So you see, when I was cutting this out at first, you see, when I put this into my punch, it's going to cut here. Well, that was going to cut the end or the bottom edge off my sentiment, and I didn't want it to do that. So let's get this lined up right in here, like that. There. Oh. And there's the second one. Getting rid of those. What else do we have? We have some stems. What did I do with them? Here. Let's see how well we do with that. There's the first one. And if this works well, we only need one, so maybe, yeah, okay. Right there. Oh, missed. Yep, there it is. And this last one we're going to have to cut out by hand. So I'm just going to take my snips, and it's easy enough to cut because you're cutting right around the edge. You don't have to leave a white border that would match if you were cutting some with a die and getting a white border. I find it very hard to match the borders when I'm trying to fussy cut something or cut something by hand and then put it next to something that I've cut out with a die. I just can't do that very well. This is a much better option for me. And I'm just trimming this, whoops, a little further, and around we go. There. So let's see what we have here. Let's have a look. So we've got a a toadstool there and a toadstool there. I think that goes that way. We've got a sentiment here which says popping up to say hi. We have this 1 inch strip of pink that we cut off the front of the card, and we're going to use that to back the sentiment. And we're going to use this punch here, the Happy Labels punch, this one here with the scalloped edge. Now this is one of those punches where you can cut 3 sizes. 1 inch is the biggest size, so it's 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, or 1/2 inch wide. And I'm just going to put that in there, and you see how well it just fits right in the channel there. So I'm just going to make sure that the punch is open, and then it will work. And when I push it in, it goes right to the top edge, to that straight edge. And I'm cutting the edge off. That's all I've cut off. But you see what a nice scalloped edge it gives me. Okay, so then I'm going to take my popping up to say hi. It's 1 inch wide as well, and I'm going to put it in the same slot right there, right up to the top. Now this one we're going to cut both edges. There's one, I'm going to turn it around, put it in here like that, make sure it's nice and straight, cut it off. I want to put this on here like this, you see, so that just a little bit of pink shows, if you can see there. Let me just see if I can show you. See, so you've got a little pink edge. So I need to trim this piece off to about, I'm going to cut it to here. Now the reason I've left extra is because I can always trim it twice if I need to. So I'm going to turn this over and pop this in here. Make sure it's nice and straight and cut the edge off. Alright, now we're going to line these up. I'm going to glue this right where I want it. It's just picked up some adhesive from my mat here. There it goes. I'm going to glue this piece right where I want it so that I can see that I've got just maybe 1/8 or so of an inch. Push the edges together there. So you see I've got more at one end than I have at the other. I'm going to put this into the punch again, if I can. Oh sorry, I want to put it in upside down so that when I turn the punch over I can see how much I've got to cut off. Now I'm going to pull it back so that I'm not cutting off the whole. Let me see, if I push it in all the way I've got that much to cut off, okay, right in here. So I'm just going to pull this back a little bit and cut it off and hope I haven't cut too much off. That will do me nicely. So now we'll bring in some mushrooms again. No, they're not mushrooms, they're toadstools. Alright, so we've got this stem here which is a thick stem, and we've got this one here which is the thinner stem. So I'm going to put just a dab of liquid adhesive here. Okay, let's see if that'll help it to stick. And we'll just set it down and give it a minute to settle and to really get hold. There. I'm going to do the same with this one. I think that's a little long, that one. I'm going to trim this one. There, just cut the end of it, give it a little more adhesive. There. Okay, there. So we've got 2 toadstools ready to go, and we've got a sentiment. So let's put this card together. I'm just going to move that out of the way. Clean up some space. Get this on the inside of the card. A little bit either side. So this is my inside of my card, and I've got about 1/16 of an inch all the way around. There we go. And I'm just going to turn it over and give it a good press. And then we've got this sentiment here for the front, and we've got 2 toadstools. The toadstools I'm going to glue to the back of the sentiment. I think I'm just going to use permanent adhesive. There. And I need this one. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'll put that one so it's sort of sitting on top of this one just a little bit. So same again, some good old adhesive. I'll tuck this in like that. There. Okay, so we've got that and that. I want to take some dimensionals. Set this on the front of the card, right there. There we are, and that is today's card. So that's it, today's card, popping up to say happy birthday. So this card was my own design. If you want to copy and share it, please do so, and just say where you saw the first card made. And if you sell your cards, use the Stampin' Up angel stamp, which just says all the supplies used were Stampin' Up supplies. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week. Bye.